Well, today I'm in Capitol Reef National Park, and I've got this shot here set up. I've come down here to photograph some of the cottonwood trees in fall color. It's October 11th today. Some of the cottonwood trees are pretty green still, but this one here, it's got a nice kind of mixture of yellow and green. And then I've got these grasses in the foreground that have the same color palette. And then you've got a really nice red sandstone wall that's in reflected light because there's a big canyon wall behind you here that's in direct sunlight that's bouncing into the scene. So overall, a really nice scene to start off this trip. This is going to be a 1-second exposure on Kodak E100. So overall, feeling pretty good about that first shot, but excited to see what else I can find here in Capitol Reef. Right now I'm just waiting on the wind to die down here. And I went ahead and I removed the center filter on the front of this 150 millimeter. There's some natural vignetting to this lens on 8x10, but because I'm shooting 4x10, the corners are not going to be in the frame because I'm going to crop them out. So I went ahead and removed that. Typically with that center filter you lose a stop and a half of light. But because I removed it, it increased my shutter speed to 1 second, which is nice. So looks like the wind has just died down. Okay, and here we go. Great. Well, that was a pretty fun day. I'm glad I got a few exposures made on a couple scenes, but mostly it was for scouting, and I don't really have a photograph for tomorrow morning. Well, I do, but it's a little too far from my current location. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is just kind of enjoying the evening tonight and you know, scouting more tomorrow morning and taking a photograph in the evening, hopefully. But as far as camping goes, I was thinking about this. This is going to be my last trip with this rooftop tent. I've actually got something on order that'll be showing up in probably in a week or two. But this weekend I have someone coming down from Portland to buy this tent. So this will be the last time you see it. It's been a great tent, but I've kind of had a plan for the G-Wagon for a while. In fact, that's almost the reason I purchased the G-Wagon years ago, was for this thing that's showing up soon. So hopefully I can get a video out of the new setup when that does happen. But until then, I'm just going to enjoy dinner here. Went a little lazy tonight with one of these backpacking dinners, and I'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning. It's day 2 for me on this trip to Utah. And the plan for today is to head back into Capitol Reef and hopefully find some trees to photograph in reflected light. Last night I realized I never really explained why I haven't posted a video in the last couple of months, and that's because I've been working on my darkroom. So it took about 5 or 6 weeks to get the actual structure up and dried in. And that was my goal before winter hits. Where I live, it could snow at any point in the next couple of weeks. So I wanted to make sure I get that all dried in so that I can work on the interior over the winter. So that's what I've been up to. I know I said I was going to put together an entire series of videos on building that structure, but the more I thought about it, it would turn the channel into like a construction channel. And I want it to be more about photography on this channel. So I will put together just an overview of the process, kind of the experience of building something mostly by yourself, and general like cost of everything. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know down in the comments. But I'm just going to finish up my coffee here and have some breakfast, and then I'm going to hit the road and head back into Capitol Reef. So I just finished making exposure here on this scene, and I think I'm a little late. I just got here and found this tree with these gorgeous striations in the sandstone in the background. But I think if I show up a little earlier, I can adjust my composition because there's some sunlight here on the left. So I just found this scene driving down the side of the road, and as soon as I got my camera set up, you could see the top of the tree is now in direct sunlight. So I jotted what time that happened, and if that stays in direct sunlight, I'll probably just come back tomorrow ahead of time and try to take this photograph. And there's some really nice reflected light into this scene, so overall a nice find, and I'm looking forward to exposing some film on this scene. Good morning. It's day 3 for me on my trip here to Capitol Reef, and today's actually gonna be my last day here. And I wanted to come back into this canyon because we have some really nice blue skies today and no wind. And I wanted to give myself a little more time to work on this composition you see behind me here. The first one that I photographed yesterday. And I think that getting here a few hours earlier and having the time to set up the composition and just kind of wait for the light to be its best is going to give me the best opportunity to capture the scene. And the way that I have the composition set is I really like this desert varnished wall right behind the tree. So I'm kind of emphasizing the wall and following it along the entire span of the canyon here, and then including a little bit of the top left corner of another wall. And I think what that does is gives the scene a little bit of depth versus just shooting the flat wall. So we'll see how this works out. I'm going to close my lens and stop down to f/45. I'm going to shoot some Provia 100F. So right now I'm just waiting on the sun. It's right behind you, is in direct sunlight, and it's reflecting some nice light into the scene this way. But there's a wall right over here on the left that also is going to get some direct sunlight. So that'll really fill the frame nicely with some reflected light. All right, well, the light is looking pretty good right now. I think I'm going to go ahead and expose a sheet of Provia 100F. And right now, the wall on the top left of my frame is about 2 stops brighter than the wall here that you see. That's the main kind of wall of the photograph. So I think it's a good time to make an exposure. It's only going to get brighter from here, and I'm not sure that slide film is going to really like that. So I'm going to take this exposure real quick just to have it in the bag. And then I have some Ektar, I have some E100, so I've got a lot of film with me. But I'm going to try this here on Provia. And here we go. I'm just getting things packed up because my camera is now in direct sunlight, and that was kind of why I came back. I couldn't stand here yesterday because I got here a little too late. I was just a bit over there, and I think this made the composition a little better. All right, well, this is going to be my last exposure for this trip. It's f/45 at 1 second. Well, I got to say, this trip was a lot of fun, and look forward to coming back to Capitol Reef at a certain point, maybe sometime next year. But as always, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.